Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Haribo Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Thank you. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Lord Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day ki. Nityananda Ram ki. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Gaura Chandra Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Volume 2, Chapter 8, Text number 4, 8.4, Adi Lila. Jaya Jaya Srivasadi Yata Bhakta Gana Pranati Haiya Vadan Sabara Charana. Jaya Jaya. Please repeat. All glories. Srivas Adi. Unto Srivas Thakur. Etc. Yata. All. Bhakta Gana. Devotees. Pranata. Offering obeisances. Haiya, doing so. Vandan, I pray. Sabara, all. Charna, lotus feet. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Srivas Thakur and all the other devotees of the Lord. I fall down to offer them respect. I worship their lotus feet. Please repeat. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Srivas Thakur and all the other devotees of the Lord. I fall down to offer them respect. I worship their lotus feet. Purport. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami teaches us first to offer respect to the Panchatattva. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, Gadadhar Prabhu, and Srivas Prabhu, and other devotees. We must strictly follow the principle of offering our respects to the Panchatattva, as summarized in the mantra, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. At the beginning of every function in preaching, especially before chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We must chant the Panchatattva's names and offer our respects to them. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobisham Shapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Tidanti Svapadantikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master is opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances under the dust of his lotus feet. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Niti Namane. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskasade Shatarine Vanchakopatarubhaischa Kripa Sindhuvasevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, we are celebrating such a wonderful day. The appearance of Sri Nityananda Ram ki. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, this is the anniversary day of his appearance, the day we celebrate Lord Nityananda Prabhu appearing. He appeared in 1474 in Ekachakra in West Bengal. Ekachakra. Does anybody know what was special about Ekachakra before Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared there? It's said that the Pandavas spent some of their time in exile there. That may have been their exile place. And they say that Bhima may have killed one of the Rakshasas there or near there, but it's disputed. Other people claim that happened somewhere else. But we know that there was a significant spiritual presence there. And then Lord Nityananda Prabhu appears in Ekachakra. He is also known as Nitai, Gaur Nitai, right? Lord Nityananda is Lord Balaram. He is Lord Balaram. Krishna Stu Bhagavam Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Balaram is equally the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? He's just exactly like Krishna, except he's a different color, right? Balaram is whitish. Lord Krishna, bluish, blackish blue. So, when he appears as Lord Nityananda, he comes as the older brother of Lord Chaitanya, right? The older brother, Nityananda. And the older brother means that he appears first, right? So what's next in the calendar? We're going to have Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, right? Gaur Pranim. Who has appeared before Lord Nityananda? Advaita Acharya, yeah, we just celebrated his appearance day. Advaita Acharya, he is non-different, he is Mahavishnu, right? And because he invited Lord Chaitanya to come, Lord Chaitanya appeared in Bengal, in Mayapur, for our benefit, because Advaita Acharya could see how degraded Kali Yuga was becoming. He said, there's only one way that this can be thwarted, that this can be stopped. We need the avatar, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, to come. So when Lord Krishna wants to come as Lord Chaitanya, he doesn't come alone, right? Does Krishna do things like, does he take a tour, a world tour? You know, appearing now, Lord Krishna, singer extraordinaire. No. He comes with his entourage, with his friends, his associates, his eternal loving associates. And not only that, he comes in his own dham, right? His own abode. When Krishna comes, it's non-different from where he lives all the time. Krishna is in the spiritual world, in Vaikuntha. And what's so special about Navadvip Dham, where Lord Chaitanya appears in West Bengal, Mayapur, it contains all of the spiritual world, is inside those 9 islands. Navadvip means 9, Nava island, Dvip means island. So in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, there were 9 villages. 9 villages. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered civil disobedience against Chandkazi, he marched in all 9 of those little village cities that made up Mayapur itself. So the significance is so interesting. 9 islands, 9 villages, and Navadvip contains all of the Vaikunthas, the entire spiritual world, including all of Goloka Vrindavan, is contained in Mayapur Dham. So when you visit there, you're visiting everything. When I was very lucky, when my wife and I, we were driving from Calcutta to Mayapur, and we stayed a night or two at the temple in Kolkata, and His Grace Pankajangri Prabhu was there too, and he found out we had booked a car, and it was an AC car too, right? So he asked if he could ride with us. We're like, of course. I mean, we would have given him the car, right? But he let us ride with him. So as we approached Mayapur Dham, he knew exactly the spot where Mayapur Dham began, where the 9 islands began. And we were talking, and he stopped, and he said, he offered his obeisances to the Dham. He said, we have just entered Sri Dham Mayapur. It was along the road, some ways out from Mayapur. So the significance is clear, is there. Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu is the older brother, right? Can anyone correct me if I'm wrong, but older brother means Dauji, right? Has everybody heard that? Dauji. Have you heard the little song, Dauji Kaveya? Krishna Kanaya. Krishna Kanaya, Dauji Kaveya. And I meant to look up the meaning of that, so the next time I give a class, I'll give that. I didn't have a chance to look it up. So Dauji is the older brother. And Nityananda Prabhu especially wanted to appear as the older brother. Why? Before, when he appeared as in Ram Leela, he was the younger brother, right? Who was he in Ram Leela? Lakshman. And at the end of the Leela, I don't think Lakshman was very happy. He was happy because he was always with Lord Ram, and he was always Ram's servant. So I don't mean in that way, but in the understanding is that he said, I don't want to come as a younger brother because he had to listen to his older brother, right? And his older brother was Lord Ram. And Ram said, take Sita out. She's banished from Ayodhya. Can you imagine that? That must have just brought heart-wrenching, for that pastime to occur. But he had to do it. He didn't want to, but he did. Actually, of course, we know he's non-different from the Godhead. So he understood. But for our purposes, he commiserated with our, the horribleness of having to see Sita banished, right? And then she has her children, and she's at the ashram. So, but what we get is the sense of the personalities and the interaction of the persons. And that's what it's all about, right? Krishna consciousness is personality driven, isn't it? It's not about just rules and regulations. The rules and regulations are very, very important. But we are following the rules and regulations to get a higher taste and to understand who we really are, right? What is our eternal swarup with Krishna? Who are we really, right? Eternally. We have a spiritual form. That's who we really are. And we're not this material form that we are, we look in the mirror, right? That's not us. So this Hare Krishna movement is designed to give us that realization. And the great mercy is that Krishna comes as Lord Nityananda. As Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he comes with Lord Balaram. Nityananda Ram. Nityananda Ram. Nityananda Balaram, right? Nityananda Ram. And Nityananda, we know, is Avaduta, right? He's Avadut. But he's also the spiritual master of all spiritual masters, right? Balaram, we know that. Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur writes, Nityananda is the primary manifestive constituent of the divinity. Nityananda alone possesses the distinctive function of Guru. In Nityananda, the function is embodied. Nityananda is the servant God. Wow. Anytime you read Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, you got to really read it a couple times, right? It's so dense. He uses the way he writes and says things. It's amazing. And Nityananda, Lord Nityananda, is the primary manifestive constituent of the divinity. Nityananda alone possesses the distinctive function of Guru. Guru is one, right? We understand that. Guru is one. Who's the first Guru that we get? Our parents? Before that? Louder, please. Lord Nityananda. Well, yeah. I was thinking of a super soul in our heart. Isn't that our first Guru? Chaita Guru, right? Chaita Guru is in our heart. And so when we're a little baby, you know, they say, how do we know to suckle the breast of our mother? You know, if you're lucky enough, most kids get formula now, right? So it's, you know, that's okay, there's nothing wrong. Sometimes the mother can't breastfeed for whatever reason. But, you know, what makes the child know how to suck the nipple, whether it's rubber or a breast? You know, the scientists say, they call it this ridiculous term, instinct, right? Made up term. It doesn't mean anything. Super soul in the heart tells the child how to do this. Like little baby animals, they don't know. How do they know what to do? Instinct. There's no such thing as instinct. It's super soul. Because Krishna's in everybody's heart, and Krishna's helping us. He's the first guru. So he's already instructing us. You know, right from the get-go, Krishna's there. But if we're really, really fortunate, we get to meet a representative of Nityananda Ram, like Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada's disciples and descendants. And the gurus that make up the Hare Krishna movement are bona fide servants of Lord Nityananda Ram. They are direct representatives. And you have to get the mercy of a pure devotee, of a guru, in order to understand who is Krishna. And the importance of that I want to read about, because it's very interesting. The verse that we read, I felt was important, because when I started my research on what should I talk about, you know, Nityananda, Lord Nityananda Prabhu's appearance, there was no assigned text, right? So I could go with whatever text I wanted to go with. Haribol. And so I want to read more of this chapter, beginning with text 5. We read text 4. So text 5, I'm just going to read the English, I hope you don't mind. By remembering the lotus feet of the Panchatattva, a dumb man can become a poet. A lame man can cross mountains, and a blind man can see the stars in the sky. Purport. In Vaishnava philosophy, there are 3 ways for perfection, namely, sadhana siddha, perfection attained by executing devotional service according to rules and regulations; nitya siddha, eternal perfection attained by never forgetting Krishna at any time; and kripa siddha, perfection attained by the mercy of the spiritual master or another Vaishnava. Kaviraj Goswami, and he's the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami here stresses kripa siddha, perfection by the mercy of superior authorities. The mercy does not depend on the qualifications of the devotee. By such mercy, even if a devotee is dumb, he can speak or write to glorify the Lord splendidly. Even if lame, he can cross mountains. And even if blind, he can see the stars in the sky. Prabhupada's purport, so amazing. He's letting us know that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is stressing kripa siddha, the kind of mercy we get from Guru, the perfection attained by the mercy of the spiritual master or another Vaishnava, right? It's not 100% there's just one Guru, right? It's just your Diksha Guru and that is it, right? No, you take instruction from so many Gurus, and they're called Diksha Gurus. So anyone who's a Vaishnava can be a Diksha Guru to us, and we can learn from them. So this is so important because, you know, what are we? What are we really? Sadhana siddhas, right? When we take initiation, we're told to be sadhakas, right? We're told to perform our sadhana, chant Hare Krishna, follow the regulated principles. Who struggles with that? I do. It's hard to chant rounds every day. It's hard. Our senses are so strong. The regulated principles are there to follow. And if we do, we become purified in our consciousness. But it takes a lot of time, right? We have so much baggage. Our hearts are full of black, dirty things, right? So much unwanted baggage, right? So many past lifetimes of sinful activity. And so it's hard. It's hard to perform sadhana. But on the order of our spiritual master, we perform our sadhana so that we can become nitya siddha, eternally perfect, by never forgetting Krishna. And how do we do that? By the mercy of the spiritual master or another Vaishnava. So we're all after this kripa siddha, and it's there by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. If it wasn't for him, it's not available, right? You can't get it just doing it on your own. Let's read about what Prabhupada says about that, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, the next verse, text 6, the education cultivated by so-called learned scholars who do not believe these statements of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is like the tumultuous croaking of frogs. Purport: the croaking of the frogs in the rainy season resounds very loudly in the forest, with the result that snakes, hearing the croaking in the darkness, approach the frogs and swallow them. Similarly, the so-called educational vibrations of the tongues of university professors who do not have spiritual knowledge is like the croaking of frogs. So what is the croaking of frogs of the university professors going to cause? It's going to cause them to be devoured by Maya, right? To be devoured by the material desires that arise from not accepting Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the statements of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Text 7. One who does not accept the glories of the Panchatattva, but still makes a show of devotional service to Krishna, can never achieve the mercy of Krishna or advance to the ultimate goal. Purport: if one is seriously interested in Krishna conscious activities, he must be ready to follow the rules and regulations laid down by the acharyas. And he must understand their conclusions. The Shastra says, Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guyatam maha jana jana gata sa panitaha. That's from the Mahabharata. It is very difficult to understand the secret of Krishna consciousness, but one who advances by the instruction of the previous acharyas and follows in the footsteps of his predecessors in the line of disciplic succession will have success. Others will not. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says in this connection, Echadiya Vaishnava Seva Nastara Sikhe Keba. Unless one serves the spiritual master and acharyas, one cannot be liberated. Elsewhere he says, Chaya Gosani Yanara Mui Tanara Dasa Tan Sabara Pada Renu Mora Pancha Grasa. Quote, I simply accept a person who follows in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis, and the dust of such a person's lotus feet is my food. The dust of such a person's lotus feet is my food. Text 8. Formerly, kings like Jarasandha, the father-in-law of Kamsa, strictly followed the Vedic rituals, thus worshipping Lord Vishnu. Purport: in these verses, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, is very seriously stressing the importance of worship of the Panchatattva. If one becomes a devotee of Gaura Sundar or Krishna, but does not give importance to the Panchatattva, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, his activities are considered to be offenses, or in the words of Srila Rupa Goswami, utpata, disturbances. One must therefore be ready to offer due respects to the Panchatattva before becoming a devotee of Lord Gaurasundar or of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Last text, text 9. One who does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is certainly a demon. Similarly, anyone who does not accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna, the same Supreme Lord, is also to be considered a demon. Purport. Formerly there were kings like Jarasandha who strictly followed the Vedic rituals, acted as charitable, competent Kshatriyas, possessed all Kshatriya qualities, and were even obedient to the Brahminical culture, but who did not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jarasandha attacked Krishna many times, and each time, of course, he was defeated. Like Jarasandha, any man who performs Vedic rituals but does not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered an asura or demon. Similarly, one who does not accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna himself is also a demon. This is the conclusion of authoritative scriptures. Therefore, both so-called devotion to Gaurasundar without devotional service to Krishna and so-called Krishna Bhakti without devotional service to Gaurasundar are non-devotional activities. If one wants to be successful on the path of Krishna consciousness, he must be thoroughly conscious of the personality of Gaurasundar as well as the personality of Krishna. Knowing the personality of Gaurasundar means knowing the personalities of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. The author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, pursuant to the authorities, stresses this principle for perfection in Krishna consciousness. Isn't that amazing? Do you think we should go up to any like Indian persons that just worship Krishna but don't worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and say you're a demon? No. Why? Because we don't want to upset them. We don't want to upset people in our preaching. However, what is the truth? They're demons. What? They worship Vallabhacharya line, all these nice devotees. They love baby Krishna. They have, Ladu Gopal in the house. They love Krishna so much their whole life. But they come and they join Hare Krishna movement and they kind of stop at Lord Chaitanya, right? Maybe sometimes, not all. I think most devotees accept Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Hare Krishna movement. But you can see sometimes it's a problem, right? Because they're raised with Krishna on their own. And so when they come to Hare Krishna movement, Lord Chaitanya, look, he's a saint from Bengal, right? What? He's Krishna? He's not just an incarnation of Krishna. He's Krishna himself in a different form, in a form of a devotee, but he's Krishna himself. It's very, very special, very unique, very wonderful. And what would we be doing if we didn't know this? We say, well, we got lucky. We joined the Hare Krishna movement. We didn't join some other Krishna sect of some kind, right? We get attracted to Krishna, but what if we were doing that? We didn't know, We didn't know about Lord Chaitanya. We just tried to worship Krishna on our own. Don't so many people do that, right? Even today. They read Bhagavad Gita, right? So many hippies, they read Bhagavad Gita, 60s, 70s, 80s. I read many Gitas. I read a couple Gitas before I read Prabhupada's Gita, right? I thought, these are fine. I don't need other Gita, do I? What? Well, who translated it? Did that person even understand Krishna? No. So you don't get Krishna from that. You don't get Krishna. To read Bhagavad Gita and understand it, it has to be translated. It has to be explained by somebody who understands Krishna, like Srila Prabhupada. And even more, if we want to go all the way, we have to understand Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then what's the best thing about that? That when we go back to Godhead, it's possible for us to bifurcate our spiritual lives and be in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime and to be in Krishna's pastimes at the same time. Yeah, you can't even understand it. You can't even understand it. It's just unbelievable. And that is the essence of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Simultaneous separateness and oneness. And this really confounds, the Mayavadis, because they just want it's void, there's no form, there's just bliss, and it doesn't come from any form. The form is primal, but no, it makes no sense. A form doesn't come out of formlessness, right? No, the form. The bliss comes out of a form. But we're so fortunate that Krishna doesn't leave us in the material world to suffer, right? And now we're so lucky. We've got a human birth, right? We've got higher consciousness. We've got a brain that can think about things, right? A dog doesn't think, who is God? The dog might be devotional if it's a dog that's owned by devotees, right? They'll give him prasadam. The dog might be a little bit, spiritual. He's like real polite to the devotees. Not like a usual dog, right? Trying to jump on you or lick you or bark or bite you, right? There was a dog like this in the early days. His Grace, His Holiness, Badri Narayan Maharaj tells this story. It was in front of New York Temple or one of the temples. Somebody who was coming was bringing this dog, like a German Shepherd. And the dog was like a temple dog. Like he didn't go in the temple, but he would be tied up out front. The devotees would greet him and he'd greet the devotees. And he was a really cool dog, right? He didn't act like a dog. He was like a devotee. And everybody commented on that. He would honor prasad. The dog would honor prasad, right? So one day there was a female dog nearby, and the female dog was in its mating phase, right? It was in heat. And he said the dog was trying to be cool, right? He was trying to not go crazy. But the smell overwhelmed him, and his base nature as a dog overwhelmed him. And after a couple minutes of trying to be cool, the dog couldn't handle it, and he started flipping out and fighting against his collar and his being tied down to get away, to try and enjoy. And so we are like that unless we control ourselves, right? If we just let ourselves be affected so much by Maya that we're just grabbing at all these things we think we want, what is the point of our pursuing Krishna consciousness? The point of Krishna consciousness and becoming a devotee and following the regular principles and chanting and doing this is to control ourselves. And what have we found out from engaging in this movement? That we can control ourselves, right? We can control ourselves. And it works. And so it works by the mercy of Krishna. By the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, appearing as Guru, appearing as Srila Prabhupada, appearing as our own spiritual masters we've taken initiation from, appearing as the devotees that instruct us during the day in, day out. We know devotees around the temple. They're all helping us, right? With so many things, even in insignificant ways, in intangible ways. We're benefited. We come to the temple. It keeps our mind from wandering, from being in Maya, and it focuses us in such a nice way. And so the benefit of what this movement gives us is so key. We don't want to lose sight of the importance of the Panchatattva, right? The Panchatattva mantra is more powerful than the Hare Krishna mantra. Wow! You've all heard this, right? But why don't we chant that all the time? Because Lord Chaitanya told us to chant Hare Krishna. But he also said, and Krishnadas Kaviraj in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing, you must give your obeisances and respect and chant the Pancha Tattva mantra before any spiritual function, and especially before you chant your rounds. So we always chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Isn't it wonderful? Krishna appearing in these 5 truths. Pancha Tattva. Pancha means 5. Tattva means truth. Not just truth, absolute truth. Pancha Tattva. Because we go around, we saying, oh, what's the truth, you know? What's the truth here? You know, what really happened? Who killed Kennedy? What's the truth? What's the, there was just a car wreck here. What's the truth? What happened? Truth in the ordinary sense is a very ordinary word, right? It can mean any fact. It's the truth. I swear, Judge, it's the truth. I didn't do that crime. Don't throw me away to jail, to rot. You know, it's even you know, molested, and it's abused, and it's violently shaken, and it's people lie in the name of truth, right? They try to say this is the truth, but they're bending everything and they're lying, but it's not just truth. The Pancha Tattva is the absolute truth. There's no more truth, no higher truth. No one can attack that and say it's not true. It's the absolute truth, because it's Krishna, and it's Lord Chaitanya, and it's Lord Nityananda, who is Balaram, appearing as Lord Nityananda Ram, in order to give us the mercy, to instruct us, to give us the benefit. And we have to always remember Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, you know, so important. How important they are, that you don't get the mercy of Krishna. You can't understand Radha Krishna unless you first understand Gaur Nitai. And when you understand Gaur Nitai, then they recommend you, right, to Radha Krishna. They give us the ability to understand through the auspices of the spiritual master. So that's all I had to say. Let me see if there was anything else. There was one nice note, but I think it's getting late. It's 8:45, so let's wrap it up here. Is there any comments or questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Thanks for the wonderful, great class.
Thanks for being here.
I was just wondering if you could define avadut and talk about that, because you said that Lord Nityananda is avadut and he's guru, right?
Right.
Is there a difference, or are they the same, or what? Can you talk about that statement?
Yeah, the question is to discuss avadut, and Lord Nityananda Prabhu is avadut, and he's the spiritual master. So what's the relationship there? What does it mean? I think the fulfillment of your spiritual practices under the guidance of the spiritual master is you can attain that position of pure, blissed out love. You are so in love with Krishna, you are Nitya Siddha, you think of nothing but Krishna, you never forget Krishna, you always think how to serve Krishna. That's Lord Nityananda Prabhu. That's why he's avadut. But he also has to do apparently mundane things in his pastimes, right? But don't think he's ever not thinking of Krishna, right? And in fact, when he goes to save Jagai and Madhai, what happens? He wants to save the most sinful men in the whole universe, right? He wants them to become followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he says, if these two rascals become followers of Lord Chaitanya, just think what the rest of the world will think about my master, about Lord Chaitanya. So he saves them. He puts into motion the events that will save Jagai and Madhai and make them into pure devotees. And so the avadut is sort of like, that's going to be the result. That's what happens in pure Krishna consciousness. And it's not a state that's artificial. And we can't be artificial about it and say, well, I'm just going to renounce everything. I'm just going to live in a tree, or, I'm avadut. I don't have any external consciousness. I'm just constantly enjoying Krishna pastimes in my mind. Hey, now that's a very exalted state, right? How many persons have that? Not many. And if they do, they're called Uttama Adhikari, right? There's Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttama. Beginner, medium, topmost. Prabhupada was a topmost relisher. But in order to preach, he had to come down to the Madhyam platform. Otherwise, he'd be in ecstasy. But we saw it, didn't we? Sometimes Prabhupada would be chanting, or he would read something, or someone would say something about Sri Sri Gaura Nitai. One time it happened in Atlanta, right? He was looking at Gaura Nitai, and he was giving a lecture, and he went into a trance. And he was stunned in ecstasy, and tears were rolling down his eyes. He was in ecstasy. But Prabhupada didn't, you can't preach if you're avadut, right, all the time. So Lord Nityananda Prabhu is avadut, and he still, taught. That was his pastime. But he was showing us the way, not artificially, but to be so in love with the Lord and to be so spiritually connected that you don't care about the material world, right? You don't even worry about your body. Who takes care of us anyway? Krishna, right? Krishna's taking care of it. We think, well, I went and I bought these clothes, I bought a car, I buy groceries, I'm taking care of myself. No. Krishna himself, especially for devotees, Krishna's doing it for everybody. Everyone's being cared for by Krishna, but it's a slightly different energy, right? When you become a devotee, you come under Mahamaya, and Krishna's involved, and Krishna is directly feeding you, directly giving you what you need every day. Isn't that amazing? Krishna will fulfill all your desires. He'll fulfill every one of them. And any he doesn't, that means you got rid of it, you didn't need it fulfilled. Say, wait a minute, I still have a desire I haven't fulfilled. Well, wait a minute. There's things to burn off. There's still realization to be had, especially for me. I'm talking for myself. So much more I still have to realize about Krishna consciousness. But it's a clear fact. Krishna will fulfill all your desires. He doesn't want you to stay here. And if it's a matter of fulfilling a silly little material desire, fine. Go have it. But then get smashed because you're going to get the reaction from it. But you won't get the full reaction because Krishna's very kind. He doesn't give you the full reaction, right? He mitigates your karma because you're a devotee. So special. And without Nityananda, Lord Nityananda, there's no ISKCON. There's no Srila Prabhupada. It wouldn't happen. It's so wonderful that we get to celebrate his appearance today and the special person that Lord Nityananda Prabhu is, and the energy that he possesses. Balarama means unlimited power. Unlimited power. Krishna doesn't even know. Krishna can't even measure his own power because it's expanding. Even he doesn't understand it. He does, but he doesn't. You know what I mean? He says, he's Krishna. In order to understand who he is, he comes as Lord Chaitanya. Because he wants to understand, how is it Radharani gets more pleasure serving me than I get being me? Krishna's already completely satisfied. He's in constant ecstasy. But he sees, what's this? Srimati Radharani has greater ecstasy than I do by serving me. So I want to taste that. I want to enjoy that. I want to understand that love. And in doing that, he breaks it open for everybody else. So this is so great. I'm going to give it to everyone without regard to your qualification. Right? You could be sinful rascal, jagai, madai, murderer, rapist. Horrible things they did, right? I mean, horrible baby killing, right? They did it all. Nothing bad they hadn't done. They couldn't keep up with all their sins. They were that bad guys. Did that disqualify them? No. Is there anybody as bad as Jagai and Madai right now on this planet? No, not even close. There are some that are, well, they're working at it, right? They're working real hard. They're killing a lot of people, you know. They're causing problems. But they're little Jagais and Madais. They're demons. And they're really causing great havoc because they get in charge and they get in government, and that makes it just horrible for everyone. So Prabhupada says, the point of the Chankazi, the civil disobedience, is for us the lesson we take from that. We should go and go do kirtan in front of these governments, in front of these officials, and tell them, worship Krishna, worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is what it's about. and Lord Chaitanya assured his followers before they marched on Chankazi's house. Chankazi was a ruthless ruler, right? He had Patan soldiers, swords, knives. They'll kill you in 2 seconds, right? They don't care. But he said, we're going to march on the Chankazi's house tonight. But I want everybody to know I will protect you, so don't be worried. Because they didn't want to do kirtan because the Kazi had said no more kirtan. So Lord Chaitanya said, I'm going to march on the Chankazi. We're going to march. He went to all of the 9 villages, and then he went to Chankazi's house. And Prabhupada states in one of the purports, he said, this is the example of this civil disobedience. You know, we don't want to be disobedient by, you know, blowing things up, being a terrorist. No. We show civil disobedience by going in front of the governments and saying, you are godless. You don't understand anything. Follow these teachings. This is not religion. It's science. You know, follow the science of Krishna consciousness. And so that's the essence. That's what Srila Prabhupada wants us to do. And if we do that, then we enter a state where, you know, the material world doesn't matter to us, right? That's avadut in a sense, right? And even if we become uttama adhikaris, the topmost in understanding, we still have to come down to preach, right? I have to try and come up to preach because I'm kanishta. I'm like a beginner, so I have to try and be madhyam when I preach. Others, no, they're already at the upper level. They come down to preach, right? Otherwise, they couldn't talk. They'd be in ecstasy thinking of Krishna, right? Lord Chaitanya says that. He said, if I had love for God, I couldn't even walk or talk. I wouldn't be able to move. And many times he wasn't, right? He would exhibit that love of God. That's avadut, complete love of God. It's not separate. It's not like avadut, it's some separate condition. No, it's love of God in fullness. And love of God in fullness is really nice. We don't see it in this world. It can't, Krishna Prem can't be contained in a material body, really, right? You can get bhava, and you can get right up to the point of Prem. But, you know, you need your spiritual body, right? You need your spiritual body to perform really complete pure devotional service. But there are pure devotees on this planet. They have reached that uttama level. You know, there's levels within levels. There's Kanishta Uttama, and there's Madhyam Uttama, and there's Uttama, right? So very interesting. So sorry to go on and on. Excuse me. Thank you for your question. Thanks for your attention. Thanks for being here. Nityananda Ram ki. Assembled devotees ki. Jai.